Hello everyone and welcome to this Rover SD1 2600S recommissioning video. This is part 2 of our series on getting this wonderful 2600S back on the road. If you're not subscribed already, please consider doing so, hitting the bell icon to stay notified, like the video if you do, and comment below. I really appreciate the comments and any interaction on this video in general because I enjoy hearing from you guys. So on with the video. First, of course, we have to go get her, so let's go do that. Here we are after a short trip. Now we just got to wait for the delivery driver, so you will join me on the journey. There she is, boys. She's on. So let's go follow it. We'll attempt to, because we drive it incredibly slow. Look at her go. I'm so excited. Yeah. Look at it. It's so cute. Well, I say cute. It looks like a beast. We'll go back in character. See you later. So now she is finally off the transporter and ready to be put back on the road. So let's give you guys a quick montage of one of my favourite Rovers. So our plan for this video is, we get the car exhumed from her current resting place and placed in her new temporary resting place while we get her back on the road. We take a look at the fueling issue and try get the car finally running off its own fuel supply for the first time in around 6 years. We also take a look at the clutch and why we can't engage or disengage the clutch. We take a look at a few other issues such as the doors and stuff, and we also give her a good wash. So let's get right to it. After putting some fuel in the tank, our attention turned to the engine bay to make sure everything was in place for us to attempt to start her up. One of the first things we noticed was one of the fuel lines to the carburetors had decided to snap off. I cut off the broken bit and tried to jerry-rig the other bit back on, but unfortunately, fuel went everywhere. So I quickly abandoned that idea after that, and we went to Halford and went to go get some fuel line. We did try our local place because always use your locals first, but they didn't have any fuel line. I've never known an auto parts store that doesn't have fuel line, but hey, there's a first for everything. After putting on the new fuel line and checking everything again, it was then the moment of truth. I put the key in and attempted to start, and in this clip you'll see exactly what happened. So this may seem like a resounding success. It isn't. But it is a success nonetheless. We got the car started off of its own fuel supply for the first time in 6 long years, which I think is absolutely amazing to see it just running off of its own fuel supply. We also got the car to do more than it did when it came off the transporter, which is another success. However, with all things, with all classic cars, there comes another issue. The car decided to blow all of its float ball seals all at once and dump all the fuel all over the floor. This of course isn't ideal. You don't want all your fuel all over the floor, you want it in the engine. So we quickly turned the car off and realised what the problem was. The reason why it was running so rough is because it was gradually leaking out and it wasn't getting enough mixture in the engine, which in turn was making it run really rough. So as the car was going, it just couldn't get enough fuel. So we then decided to see if we could order a new set of seals. If anyone has a link to any, let me know in the comments. I would really appreciate that. Obviously after this, we then decided that it would probably be best for us to clean the carburetors out and properly service them, because I don't think many engines will run with little bits of perished rubber in them. So we took those off and then we got started on the issue with the clutch. So now we are going to take a look at the clutch. So we were under the impression from what the previous owner had said and what we deduced that the clutch was seized to the flywheel. So of course, naturally, it's not going to release, it's not going to move, it's not going to do anything. So we tried to start the car and make it jerk forward. That didn't work. It just didn't go forward or anything. So we quickly had a look at the engine bay while someone was in the car pressing the clutch pedal down. We realised the clutch cylinder, I think it's the master cylinder, was moving about in the engine bay. So after a quick look behind that, we realised that it was actually detached partially from the firewall. So it's a common failure point on SD1s where they basically get weakened around that point by surface rust and stuff, and then they eventually snap off in either one or both of the bolt areas. Unlike the brake master cylinder, they're not reinforced at the back with like a big plate. Well, ours isn't anyway. So after realising that, we then sort of decided to take all of that area off so we could have a better look. So we removed the firewall insulation heat shield thing and we took a look behind it. We then realised it wasn't as bad as we first thought, so we might just reinforce it or cut the whole thing out and weld an entirely new plate in, which would be a bit more expensive but a bit more foolproof, but we'll see. It's really up to money and up to what is right for the car. If you guys have any suggestions in the comments below, let me know. I'd really appreciate any help because yeah, I'm quite as you can tell, I'm quite knowledgeable about this. After realising she's not a complete basket case, we decided she needed a bit of love, so we towed her down the other end of the field and gave her a bit of a wash. I don't have the usual stuff that I usually have, like my rocket butter stuff and my Maguire stuff, so we just gave her a quick clean down just to see sort of what we were dealing with. And, you know, it's always therapeutic cleaning cars. We took a few pictures as well because, hey, it looks absolutely amazing. So I thought on this bit, rather than having it silent and really weird, I thought I'd just talk over it and just sort of give you guys a reason why I sort of bought this car. So when I was a kid, I was the master of reruns. So I'd always watch Top Gear and stuff and Police Interceptors and all these reruns on Dave and stuff. And one of the first things I ever saw of this car was on the Top Gear episode of the British Leyland cars, the Budget Car Challenge, where the door fell off and all these other things happened. I don't really think that actually happened. I think it was more of just a bit. I do think, however, the water bit was a bit real because the build quality on the very early cars, of course, wasn't really up to scratch because of things that I don't really want to get into. I've sort of always liked Rovers, just to answer Jay Ritchie's question as well, because I feel like I should answer a few questions. I've always liked Rovers since I was about 10, 11. I made a Rover cushion in textiles. It was the worst thing you've ever seen. It was denim with a bloody Rover logo on it, a massive one. All the other kids were making Man United and all that stuff. It was Scunny United. I was there with my Rover pillow like an absolute boss. Being part of the internet generation, there's a few upsides and of course quite a few downsides. But the upsides are you can go down a rabbit hole, which some of you might be doing right now when you're looking at these videos. So if it's late at night, or it's early in the morning, or it's midday, hello from me. I went down a bit of a Rover rabbit hole when I was a kid on my lovely HP Compact NX 6110. Obviously, you end up on Wikipedia and you go for all the models. And the cars that I really sort of fell in love with was the SD1 that obviously was on that car, was on Top Gear and everything, and the Liver Run, and of course a lot of these really old movies. I think my granddad used to, he has a lot of old movies on replay, and one of them was, I distinctly remember the shape of one of them in that. It could have been something else, but hey, the mind does play tricks. Anyway, so you go down a bit of a rabbit hole and you research all this stuff, and one of the pictures, and I think the thing that got me really into the SD1 was the picture from the Save, I think it was the Save Rover rally in 2005, or I think it was the first ever Pride of Longbridge. I'll correct myself on screen if that's the case. There's a C-Reg, lovely, I think it's a 2300S, and the guy's got a British flag out the window, and it looks absolutely epic. It's just one of those pictures that's always really, I think it's impacted me quite a lot when it comes to car preferences, because I think the SD1 in that looks particularly menacing, and I checked the MOT history on that car, and it's not actually about anymore, I don't think. So there's that. So in terms of what got me into Rovers, I think it was probably the 75 and stuff, and the 800 Mark 1. I've still got pictures on my phone from, we're talking like 6 years ago, of Sterling 800s and stuff. Real just interesting things that I've just always loved. Never really been like a BMW person or anything like that. I do love Mercedes though, but yeah, if you guys would like, I'd probably I'd do a Q&A or something, or I could do a bit more of an in-depth thing on why I got into Rovers or anything like that, because there is a lot more to the story. So yeah, let's get to the end of the cleaning bit and back onto the actual topic. Hello everyone, and welcome to the conclusion of this video. I have my stagehand here, so this is obviously going to be a bit of a better production than the last video where we were trying to start it up and everything. So here she is in all of her glory, the SD1 2600S, and we have found out why the clutch is not working in this video. Obviously we've got that bit of the firewall that's flexing forward, and we have also given her a good clean. Look at that. We've also looked at a few other issues, and we've done a few other bits. So yeah, remember to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and keep watching.